as the news has just broken. Look, it's been rumoured since Monday, even Sunday really, but it's now official as announced by both teams. Yuki Tsunoda will replace Liam Lawson at Red Bull, with Lawson making the straight switch back down to the sister team VCARB.
The Formula One world has been left stunned by a bombshell announcement that will see Japanese driver Yuki Tsunoda promoted to the senior Red Bull team with immediate effect, replacing Liam Lawson, who has been demoted after just 2 races. This shocking development comes as Tsunoda prepares for his home race at Suzuka on April 4th to 6th, where he'll partner 3-time world champion Max Verstappen in what amounts to a dramatic reversal of Red Bull's previous driver assessment. The news is spreading like wildfire. Check out what Oracle Red Bull Racing just tweeted. Red Bull Racing announcing that Yuki Tsunoda 07 will partner Max from the Japanese GP. The timing of this move couldn't be more significant for the 24-year-old Japanese driver. Not only will Tsunoda make his debut for the main Red Bull team at his home Grand Prix, but the race takes place at Suzuka, a circuit owned by Honda, Red Bull's engine partner, and Tsunoda's longtime backer. This perfect alignment of circumstances has transformed what was an uncertain future for Tsunoda into a golden opportunity to cement his place at the pinnacle of Formula One.
So far, are you having fun?
Very fun. First different car I've driven the last 4 years, so it's definitely feeling it. The reason why this car fighting for the championship, almost every races, and I feel clear difference between what I was driven. So, and I think we have such a productive day so far. So I think really happy with it.
This decision is shocking given that just 3 months ago, Red Bull favoured Lawson over Tsunoda to replace Perez, doubting Tsunoda's mental toughness. However, after Lawson's struggles in the first 2 races of 2025, that assessment has completely flipped. Red Bull team principal Christian Horner didn't mince words in explaining the decision. It has been difficult to see Liam struggle with the RB21 at the first 2 races, and as a result, we have collectively decided to make an early switch. The statement continued with a telling insight into the team's current problems. We acknowledge there is a lot of work to be done with the RB21, and Yuki's experience will prove highly beneficial in helping to develop the current car. The statistics from Lawson's brief stint at Red Bull tell a grim tale. In Australia, the New Zealander qualified 18th before crashing out of the race. Things hardly improved in China, where he qualified last for both the sprint and the Grand Prix, eventually finishing 12th, a position artificially boosted by the disqualifications of both Ferrari's and Pierre Gasly's Alpine. Without those penalties, Lawson would have crossed the line in 15th place. Meanwhile, Tsunoda has impressed with Racing Bulls, qualifying 5th in Australia and 9th in China, where he also took 6th in the sprint. His strong form and 3 years of F1 experience seem to have convinced Red Bull he's their best bet to close the competitive gap. But wait, there is more. The decision was reportedly made on Monday at a high-level meeting in Dubai, attended by Horner and Red Bull's chief shareholder, Chalerm Uvidya. With Red Bull currently sitting 3rd in the Constructors' Championship behind McLaren and Mercedes, the pressure to maximise points has influenced their thinking. Even Verstappen has expressed concerns that the RB21 might only be the 4th fastest car on the grid, despite his 2nd place finish in Australia and 4th place in China.
Me from the airport at Shanghai on Sunday night after the Chinese Grand Prix and saying that this was going to happen. There was a little bit more dialogue than that. Red Bull bosses had a meeting earlier in the week in Dubai, and apparently it's been a consensual decision to do this. It's absolutely brutal.
Red Bull's ruthlessness with their driver program is legendary in Formula One, but even by their standards, dropping Lawson after just 2 races is extraordinary. The move underscores the team's growing concerns about their competitiveness after a difficult end to 2024, where Verstappen won just twice in the final 14 races, despite clinching his 4th consecutive world title. The RB21 appears to have made little progress over the winter, with Verstappen consistently complaining about balance issues affecting performance. For Tsunoda, this represents a career-defining opportunity. With Honda set to move to Aston Martin in 2026, and no seat available at that team, his future in Formula One had looked increasingly uncertain. Now, he has the chance to prove himself alongside one of the sport's greatest talents and potentially secure his long-term future at the top level of motorsport. If he can perform well against Verstappen, Red Bull may be forced to reconsider their previous skepticism about his ultimate potential. The stakes couldn't be higher for the Japanese driver. His home debut at Suzuka in Red Bull colours will place him under intense scrutiny, but it also allows him to capitalise on his intimate knowledge of a track where he's raced throughout his career. The symbolism of making his Red Bull debut at Honda's home circuit adds another layer of significance to what already promises to be an emotionally charged weekend. Lawson, meanwhile, returns to Racing Bulls as teammate to French rookie Isaac Hadjar, in what Red Bull describes as a chance to continue his development in a more familiar environment. We have a duty of care to protect and develop Liam, and together we see that after such a difficult start, it makes sense to act quickly so Liam can gain experience as he continues his F1 career with Racing Bulls, an environment and a team he knows very well, Horner stated.
Decision to do this. It's absolutely brutal for poor Liam Lawson. He's only had 2 races in the team. It will be a dent to his ego, but Red Bull picked him because they thought he had the mental fortitude to race alongside Max Verstappen. He is going to have to demonstrate that mental fortitude to come back.
Red Bull has taken this path before. Gasly was demoted after half a season in 2019, and Albon lasted a season and a half before Perez replaced him. Both have since rebuilt their careers at Alpine and Williams, proving a Red Bull exit isn't the end. Whether Lawson can do the same remains uncertain, but at 23, time is on his side. The ripple effects of this decision extend beyond just the 4 Red Bull contracted drivers. Perez, who was paid off handsomely to end his contract 2 years early, now finds himself without an F1 seat while watching the team that dropped him cycle through 2 replacements in the space of 3 races. The instability at Red Bull contrasts sharply with the settled driver lineups at rivals McLaren and Mercedes, both of whom appear to have overtaken Red Bull in terms of car performance. Red Bull's early season struggles raise questions about whether the team's dominance over the past 3 seasons is coming to an end. With the car falling further behind its rivals and internal struggles affecting team harmony, Tsunoda joins at a challenging time. However, this adversity also presents an opportunity. If he can outperform expectations, his stock will rise dramatically. As Formula One heads to Japan, all eyes will be on the newest Red Bull senior team member. Can Tsunoda seize this unexpected opportunity on home soil and prove his doubters wrong? Will his experience help address the RB21's development issues? And what does this ruthless early season switch say about Red Bull's confidence in their current position? The Japanese Grand Prix just became one of the most anticipated races of the 2025 season. What do you think about Red Bull's shocking decision to promote Tsunoda after just 2 races? Does this give the Japanese driver a genuine shot at establishing himself as a top-tier Formula One driver? Has Red Bull's legendary ruthlessness with drivers gone too far this time? The answers will begin to emerge when the lights go out at Suzuka on April 6th, in what promises to be one of the most closely watched races of Tsunoda's career.